Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Military Mondays. For those who do not know who I am retired Major Brenda Sanchez, and I am also the co-author of the best-selling book, Life's Real Currency, with my husband, Michael Sanchez. And I come to you every single Monday morning at 8 a.m. Mountain Time for Military Mondays. I like to feature military members or veterans or spouses or children of veterans that have their own business and are helping the veteran community or the local community in general. And today I have the honor and privilege of having Nanette on my show today. Nanette is a retired lieutenant colonel, right?
No.
Colonel.
Colonel.
Wow, see?
Yeah.
Colonel. Army, right?
Right.
Army colonel who has a passion for helping veterans. And we're going to talk today about Prep Connect 360 and why, if you are a veteran, if you are a veteran, the spouse of a veteran, or if you are coming up on retirement and thinking, what the heck?
Or just transitioning from the military.
True.
Yeah.
You don't have to be retired. True. You could have served 4 years, but if you're at that stage and you're coming up on that transition, or you've passed that transition and you're still saying, what the heck am I gonna do? This is the lady you want to talk to. So thanks so much for being on today, Nanette. And let's give my audience a little bit of background on you, other than you were a colonel in the Army. What you do, why are you doing what you do today? And we'll start there.
So my background in the military goes for about, as Brenda alluded to, so I'm Nanette Mueller. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. And I transitioned from the Army after a career in ammunition and logistics, and then ended up in air and missile defense planning. And I was a weapon system developer and a joint test director for OSD, so Office of Secretary of Defense. So had a broad background, great programs. It was fun. So I got out of the Army and was at the same point that everybody is almost as they're coming out of the military, and went, what am I going to do next? And I went through the TAP program twice, and I came out and it went, when is it going to be about me? When am I going to learn what I want to do? And it's not designed to teach you that.
No.
So you just kind of go, okay. And a friend of mine invited me to a meeting where they were coming up. He worked at the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, and he recognized the fact that there were no programs out there for veterans who had already transitioned out of the military to help them re-blue, re-green, get into the transition mode, so to speak, and learn. Once you're in the military, you can always go to TAP a couple more times, but there was nothing out there in the community at that time that helped veterans or transitioning military. So we came up with a program called Prep Connect 360. It was supposed to be a team effort and community sponsored. It has continued to be community sponsored since its inception 7.5 years ago. We've now taught over 755 students. It is a combination of active duty, veterans, regardless of era, and regardless of discharge status, and as well as military spouses of either active duty or veterans. So that's what the program is designed to do, is to help them get their feet on the ground and figure out, there's 3 things that we teach. Number 1, what do you want to do when you grow up? What do you want to do for the next phase of your life, okay? The next part is we teach behavioral interview questions. So Prep Connect 360 is a week-long workshop. So it's from 8:30 to 4, 5 days a week. So it is intense. But the program is also free. But within that week, we probably spend 5 or 6 hours of intense training and work in small groups, like 4 or 5 people, with a mentor teaching you how to do behavioral interview questions. Like my favorite one, Tell me a time when you disagreed with your boss. Tell me about a time when you failed at something, or tell me about your biggest achievement. How do you articulate those in interviews? They're stump the chump questions, quite honestly. And if you don't practice those, you're not going to get them right. So the third thing we teach you how to do is to network. And one of the things we do is we have to go to a bar to practice, you know?
Oh, darn.
Yeah, darn. Yeah, over beer, it's a typical Army thing, right? But we go to Red Lake Brewing, and they sponsor us there every Thursday of the class. So it's a fun event where we mix and mingle with community partners. The culminating event, it is Thursday morning, basically, when we bring in 20 employers from the local community as far away as Denver or Pueblo to do mock interviews with our students. So
awesome.
Yeah.
So we talked about TAP.
Right.
There's also Boots to Business for those who don't know. Maybe you're getting ready to transition. I went through that, and I thought anybody who wants to have their own business, I thought, well, that'll be the place. But no, that wasn't. I mean, it's a great program, don't get me wrong, but it's really meant, at least when I went through it, now 6 years ago. Wow.
Oh, yeah.
6 years
Time
ago.
flies.
It was more for people who want to buy a franchise.
Got it.
Or have a brick and mortar. So there are tons of programs out there, but I love what they're doing at Prep Connect 360 because it helps you if you're transitioning out even to get a job. If you want to go out and get a regular job, how do you translate your military experience into a resume? Because you teach that too, right?
Right. Now, we don't teach resume writing. There are so many organizations in town that teach it for free. It's very intensive work, and we couldn't cover everything else in the class.
Do that.
And do that too.
Yeah.
But the key to the whole thing is don't talk about your experiences. You talk about your skills, because the employers are hiring you for your skills,
right,
not for your experience. And there I was in the sandbox, you know, they don't care.
They don't care. They want to know how many people you supervised, how much money and equipment, or they want to know how big the programs were that you worked on.
And what did you accomplish? And what skills did you use when you were in the moment, so to speak.
Awesome. So you have a class coming up real soon, right?
We do. March 9th through the 13th. We are hosted by the Pikes Peak Workforce Center, Mount Carmel Veterans Service Center, and we're now sponsored by Xavier University out of Xavier, Ohio.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
cool. That's
new sponsor.
Nice.
We're excited about that.
And so how do they register? Because you said it's free, but it really isn't. They need to buy a book, and you have some work that you need to do prior to the class.
Absolutely.
But how do they get registered for that class?
So to start the registration program, you send a 2-page resume to prepconnect360@gmail.com.
And
so again,
you can put that. You'll put that in the comments
Yep.
below so that somebody doesn't mistype it.
Right.
So you can send the resume through email, and
that gets you started. So we are looking to make sure that your resume is fit to send on to those employers that we mentioned earlier, because that's part of the program. The employers get your resumes ahead of time so they can cherry pick or by name request those people that they want to interview on that Thursday morning.
Nice.
So in addition to sending a 2-page resume, you're required to buy the book, What Color is Your Parachute? The class is roughly based on that, but we do exercises out of that book, so we need you to have that book. The other thing you're required to do is a little bit of writing. So we want you to answer 7 questions. My favorite is, of course, tell me about a time you were successful. And the hardest one is, tell me about a time when you failed.
Well, and so that's going to take a little bit of time and effort to do that. But are you worth it? Yes, you're definitely worth it.
It's an investment in you.
Mm-hmm.
It truly is.
And we all want to see you succeed. That's one of the reasons why I do these Military Mondays. That's why I wanted to have Nanette on this morning, because there's such a great program here. Now, what if they're not here? Because I have viewers all across the US. Are there other programs out there that you know of in other cities? Or obviously they could fly here
Absolutely.
and take the class.
And we've had people do that. They'll sleep on somebody's couch, a friend's couch for a week. Not unusual to have that happen. We've had people come in from Texas, Arizona, I mean, holy cow, all over. And it's worth the time and investment in you to come to the class.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Any final words that you want to share, or piece of advice for anybody who's transitioning out of the military, whether it's been 4 or 5 years or an entire career like you and I served? Any parting wisdom?
I think the answer is you've got to find out what your passion is so that you just don't flounder and bop between jobs. You're at the point where you get to decide what you want to do. You get to be happy in your next job, and that's our goal, is to help you find that focus, because you've served. You've been told what to do for your entire career and basically your entire life, what to wear, when to show up, et cetera, et cetera. Now you get to make those decisions, and sometimes that's a little rough. So the answer is, what do you want to do? What is your passion? What do you want to do? What's your dream job? So our goal is to help you find that, articulate that, and be successful there.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for being on today. If you, oh, she's got one more.
One more thing. Always have always have an
alibi.
alibi. Please, even if this doesn't apply to you, there may be someone that
Right.
you know. Share the information, share the link that we're going to post, and spread the word.
Thanks. And thank you so much for being on today. If you want to learn more about Prep Connect 360, please reach out to Nanette on Facebook. I've tagged her and the program in the Facebook Live here, so feel free to reach out to her, just even to connect with her if you've got questions. I'm here also, and we would love to help you make that transition out of the military. And don't forget, if you're a spouse, you're included in this too. So the program is open to you. But with that, if you would like to stay connected with me and learn about past shows or upcoming interviews that I'm doing on Military Mondays, please go to militarymondays.info and put your information in. That way we can stay connected and I can keep you posted on what's going on the show. And with that, I will see you next Monday on Military Mondays. Bye, everyone.
Brenda, thank you.